Hey, so what's going on, guys? So in this video I wanted to get deeper into detail about protein, carbohydrates, fats, maybe a little touching on creatine, and how carbohydrates can help the protein in your body travel through your system a lot faster. So the number one thing to go over is protein. So protein is a complex, how would I describe it? Well, I don't know exactly how to describe it, but it's got a lot of amino acids in it, which make it a complex kind of component. If you want to know the definition of protein, I definitely encourage you to Google it. But the benefits of protein are, when you get hungry and stuff like that, and you eat a meal, what protein does is it helps satisfy your body, so that way you don't feel as hungry later on in the day. And also it curbs that appetite and is really good for weight loss. Another benefit of eating protein is that it promotes muscle growth and muscle mass for people that are working out, and exercising regularly. Another one is for, I'd say another benefit is to kind of curb that late night snacking, which could be a lot of issues for some of you guys. I know it is for me personally. And protein can definitely help, curb that late night appetite. And fourth one. I can't think of any other things that protein is good for. It helps lower your blood pressure, which is really good in the long run. Those with high blood pressure can definitely benefit from eating a little bit more protein. And yeah, that's protein. So let's move on to the carbs. Alright, so carbohydrates. The simple form of carbohydrates is it's basically energy. Foods that have carbohydrates are basically foods that can give you energy. Carbs can be simple or they can be complex. What I mean by that is that there are foods that have simple sugars that can break down easily in your body and feed your body to give you energy. And then there's also complex carbs that have complex sugars such as starch and cellulose. Some different ones that have a little bit more complexity in their DNA and how they're formed. So like regular table sugar. Table sugar has a simple sugar compound and can go into your body a lot quicker because it's very easy to break down into your body, and therefore it'll give you a big, well, maybe not a big boost depending on how much you consume, but it'll give you a quick amount of energy really quick, but also at the same time, because it's so easy to break down, it's easy to leave out of your body too. So table sugar, any kind of sugary soda, other types of juices like Kool-Aid or whatnot, those have simple sugars in them, and they're good for giving you a little bit of a spike of energy, but also at the same time, as quick as it gets into your body, it leaves your body. And then there's complex sugars such as, well, maybe not super complex, but like fructose, like different types of fruit that have different types of, well, not different types of sugar, but different amounts of sugar that can be broken down easily. Like watermelon. Watermelon has a simple sugar complex, and so gets into your body a lot quicker. Leaves just as quick too. Then you have food like apples or grapes, raspberries, bananas, and also like even some vegetables do have carbohydrates in them, and the vegetables that have carbs have the complex carbs as well. And carbs are really good for promoting, again, energy for your whole body, and also it promotes energy for your brain. So, you know, eating carbs is definitely a part of a good healthy diet, but you want to be careful on eating too much carbs. That's the only difference. And also eating too much of the simple carbs. Because what happens is when you consume too much carbs, especially simple carbs, and you don't use that energy, it gets stored up as body fat. And then, you know, if you don't exercise or do anything like that, your body's just going to keep on accumulating those simple sugars, and you're not going to make any results when it comes to weight loss or, you know, just living a healthier lifestyle. So those are carbohydrates. Now let's move on to the fats. So for the third one is fats. The definition is a little much for me to explain, so if you want to look up the definition of fats, I definitely encourage you. There are 4 different types of fats. There's monounsaturated, there's polyunsaturated, there's trans fats, and then there's saturated fats. And the ones that are good for you are the monounsaturated and the polyunsaturated. And those ones are good for maintaining a good strong heart and a healthy brain. Some of the benefits of it are to help, you know, manage your mood, keep your brain sharp, and also promote healthy weight loss. Those are the 2 good ones. The 2 bad ones that you definitely want to stay away from are the trans fats and the saturated fats. So both of those can be found in like different types of red meat, donuts, pastries, fries, you know, all that stuff that could potentially, you know, put you in a bad mood or raise your blood pressure levels, you know, give you bad cholesterol, stuff like that. And usually what I tend to use are omega-3 pills. Those are really good for, you know, promoting the whole healthy side of the aspect. And I use those, or try to use those every single day. So there are good fats and there are bad fats. And if you want to read more into it, I would definitely encourage you to read more into it. And yeah, just, you know, a little amount of fat for your diet is totally fine. Not a whole lot, because again, it can add a little bit of weight to you if you're not careful. So those are the fats. So let's move on to the carbs and how they help protein through your body. So for the carbs and how they help the protein in your body, is that when you are working out and you are exercising, when you're doing that process, your body has stores of glycogen in it that are used up as fuel when you're working out. And what happens is when you're done with your workout, your body is depleted of those glycogen stores and is trying to replenish its system again. And so when you're consuming carbs with your protein as your post-workout meal, what it does is it helps your body in replenishing those stores of glycogen, and it also promotes synthesis with the glycogen cells, and also helps the protein to create or promote protein synthesis in your body, because protein helps with restoring your muscles. And what happens is if you don't get the proper amount of protein or carbs, what's going to happen is your body is going to cannibalize itself, because your body is looking for protein after an exercise. If you don't give it that, what it basically does is it starts eating the protein rich areas of your body, which are your muscles. So if you're not careful and you're not eating the right amount of protein after a workout, your body can eat itself basically. And instead of promoting muscle growth and muscle recovery, what you're doing is you're ultimately losing muscle mass, and you're losing the number one source of burning fat, which is muscle. So again, consuming carbs with the protein. Carbs, as I explained, are simple sugars, and simple sugars are really good for getting into your bloodstream super quick because those sugars can break down super easily. And protein, on the other hand, is a slow metabolizing amino acid. And what happens is that it takes a while for the protein to get into your system. So what carbs do is they sync up with the protein and basically help to expedite the process, get the protein into your body a lot quicker, so that way it can promote muscle growth, protein synthesis, restore your glycogen stores in your body, and promote, muscle recovery, just recovery in general. So definitely make sure that you're getting your carbs in and your protein in. And yeah, that's pretty much carbohydrates and how they help protein in your body. One thing I did want to touch on is the glycemic index. So for the glycemic index, what it is it's basically a system that rates the carbohydrates in food on a scale of 1 to 100. And what the GI or glycemic index explains is the more higher the number of the carbohydrate, the quicker it gets released into your bloodstream, and the higher it spikes your blood glucose levels. So foods that are high in the glycemic index are ones that'll spike your blood glucose and your insulin levels, and also those that are mid-range will slowly build up at a steady speed, and those that have a low glycemic index will slowly build up and will only give you a certain amount of spike in blood glucose levels and insulin levels. And so usually when you're looking up foods with high glycemic indexes or low glycemic indexes, the high side of a glycemic index is approximately 70 plus. So if you look at soda Soda could possibly have a glycemic index of like 79 or higher, and that's really high for the GI levels. The next one would be the mid-range is from 59 to 69, or sorry, 56 to 69, and that's the mid-range. So foods like that are probably going to be like watermelon, strawberries, pineapples, oranges, you know, fruits that can, you know, slowly give you a rise up in your blood glucose. And then the foods with low GIs are approximately on a scale of 55 out of 100 or lower, and those are probably going to be like your vegetables such as celery, spinach, radishes, beets, you know, so on and so forth. So carbohydrates along with proteins. Again, I talked about how the carbohydrates kind of help the protein get into your system faster. Well, the reason I talked about that is because I wanted to bring up the glycemic index. And so if you're looking at a food with a high glycemic index, the higher the GI level, the quicker it's going to get into your body and into your bloodstream and spike those blood glucose levels and those insulin levels. But also at the same time, what it's going to do is, again, it's going to team up with the protein and help the protein get into your system a lot faster. So foods with high GI levels can definitely help protein, which is a slow metabolizing amino acid. And it'll definitely help with muscle recovery and everything after your exercise is done. So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about with, you know, regards to proteins, carbs, fats, and also the glycemic index. And hopefully this information will definitely help you guys. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.